This is going to be more of a theory rant, probably more for myself than it is for anybody else. I don't know, I haven't found a video on this. Well, there's two things I'm going to rant about. One, you always hear me complain that these people have no agency, but I really believe firmly now that is the point of religion, is to remove agency from a person's life. I believe that, think about it, Stu and any of these people, any of these disgusting people in this church, I have to kill you, it's my religion. That's how that works. And it's the ultimate excuse to commit an atrocity. And even when I was president of these people, I remember talking to members who just wanted to murder people and literally knew they were using the church as an excuse to kill people. So, whoop-de-fucking-do on that. But I think that's the point of church, is to remove all agency from a person's life. And I remember this guy, one of the dudes that came to Papa John's and he was trying to get me to join the churches, he was like, you ever feel that weight? How heavy life is and how everything feels? And I was just, yeah, that's called life. And then he was like, you join church and it goes, that weight is agency. That weight is agency in your life. What he's talking about is becoming a mindless tool for somebody else to control, because agency in his own life is terrifying. And I think that's the point of church. It's probably why church people are so fucking weird and nobody likes them. But what I wanted to talk about is, since I've been taking the Choline stuff for the ADHD, I don't believe I have normal ADHD because I never do anything fucking normal. But somebody called the police on me, and it's kind of, you can't, in order to call the police on somebody on YouTube, you have to first write a formal complaint in the comment section and then call the police. You can't just call the police on somebody, okay? That's not how that works. But whatever. I was kind of thrilled to some extent, but then immediately after I left the police, I immediately fell into a deep, deep depression. And I seem to do this a lot, regardless of what emotion I'm feeling. If it's joy, I'll be happy and then immediately depressed. If it's anger, I can stay in a hatred, anger state for extended periods. When I was a kid, I would literally just be pissed off and stew in my own fucking anger for days on end. It was just normal for me. I remember watching a video about how the Hulk couldn't exist because the neurons for anger in your brain get burned out. I didn't believe I had that disorder because I would be pissed for fucking years at a time when I was a child. And I didn't burn out. I don't know about now, obviously, dude, whenever I think about these people, I do get triggered, so whoop-de-fucking-do on that. But I have a theory about my prefrontal cortex, and you guys need to think. I literally said 2-3 months ago, I gave myself permission to feel my own emotions. I don't think my brain has the equipment to actually process my emotions, because prior to this, the only thing I felt was joy. The only thing I felt was happiness. That was literally my, I was either, I hate everything in existence, or I'm happy. Those were my two emotions. I never did any of regret, or sadness, or sorrow, or any of those things. I just thought they were stupid, and useless emotions. And I still do think they're useless, stupid emotions. But even elation was something I never bothered to feel, for whatever reason. I think it was blocked with the other emotions. As a result, I don't think I have the processing capability to actually functionally process these emotions. When I first gave myself permission to feel, this is really weird, I would get pissed off and I'd start crying, and I don't know why the fuck, I wouldn't cry, my eyes would water. I didn't do the kind of shit. I just fucking, my eyes would water. And I was so pissed that my eyes would water, and that was really fucking weird for me because it's never happened to me before. But I think, one, my brain, I believe, because there's probably scar tissue on it from the heavy metal poisoning, my entire psychology has been warped into something else. entirely. And I believe that maybe you guys need to think about all this shit I was doing down here, from those weird meditations to the thought processing to the all that shit. All at once cannot be good for your brain at all. And I believe that's one part of this entire thing. And I also believe just like parts of your body, like muscles work, they get stronger as you go. I believe I don't have the proper processing capacity in my prefrontal cortex or in the majority of my brain to actually functionally process things correctly. And I think this is the problem with fear, because fear is an alien thing to me. It is. When I did brave things, I was never afraid when I was younger. Fear was the gift these retards gave to me by continuously poisoning me with aluminum and heavy metals and making threats. I didn't bother with fear when I was a kid. It's not a joke. I actually didn't give a fuck about it. I literally treated it like every other emotion. I just thought it was kind of like there, but not really. And I was always disassociative from my own emotions. I didn't care about them. Only now that, like, I gave myself permission, that I realize that there's something more complex to this. Because it's not just about feeling your emotions. There's, like, parts of your brain that literally can't cope with them. Because either, maybe they don't even exist. Maybe I don't have them. Maybe atrophication set in because I never bothered to process them. And I literally can't process these things. Which is why I just fall into a depression. And it's like every emotion. It's a high and then a drop. A high and then a drop. And I don't really fucking understand it. I personally, once again, to some extent, like, it's one of those things I don't really think I can do anything about, so once again, I kind of don't care. I mean, I've been emotionally dysregulated, which is new to me because I've never been an emotional retard a day in my life. I couldn't stand emotional people for the longest time growing up. I could not stand them. I fucking hated them. I just wanted to smash their heads in. I'd be like, just be happy. And they'd be like, you're just fucking stupid. I literally, like, yeah. And then I got turned into one of those pieces of shit. But I start to wonder, this is the thing, these assholes, you gotta think, the malignant narcissist has nothing better to do but continuously collect information on you. And I wonder if even the Carl Jung shit, because here's where I'm at with the Carl Jung shit. The shadow self and all that stuff is interesting. I'll give him that, but it's also a completely stupid endeavor to go on. Because if you he talks about fate. I talked about destiny. I've talked about, and these assholes in the church believe in manifest destiny, meaning you choose what you want. If that's true, then you don't have to worry about the shadow self because you just choose what you want. And I remember saying that to Blondie, and he went, ah! Because he was like, no, you think your destiny is this and that and this. These guys don't understand destiny. And I would even argue Carl Jung's kind of statement about, until you make the unconscious conscious, you call whatever fate, you will call it fate. I don't believe in, I was never a fatalist to begin with. I was a destiny person. But I never even believed in destiny in itself because I just kind of believed we did things. We were products of what we did. Meaning, I never bothered with whatever bullshit. And then, dude, even like, the Carl Jung shit, I guarantee you, was these dickheads putting it in my computer, because now that they're gone, I don't ever see any fucking Carl Jung videos. But honestly, even the way they did it, long form, like an hour long of taking in information from this guy, is just fucking stupid. But that's not how you train people with this kind of stuff. But yeah. So I don't know exactly what the deal is with my own emotions and why they work that way, but I'm assuming it's like turning on an engine that hasn't run in a long time and all the other parts of my brain just don't function. It's kind of weird, and I really think it's incredibly stupid. I start to think one of the biggest mistakes I made down here was giving myself permission to feel my stupid fucking useless emotions. I'm not one of those people that actually care about emotions, because in my opinion, they're just annoying. They subvert intelligent, rational thought, just like how fear subverts intelligent, rational thought. And this, I want you guys to think about this. I was moving through these people like a force of nature right up until they destroyed my brain with fear. And then, what was the whole point of this? It was literally a stupid asshole who was like, I have the better way of thinking, and now I'm going to destroy your brain and give you my retarded way of thinking. And what is Blondie? He's a fuck up. He's a fuck up. And he's the worst kind of fuck up because he believes he has the superior mindset. Because he's the worst kind of fuck up, okay? He constantly believes he's smarter when he's dumber. And it's funny that when he was talking to me, he kept getting mad because I kept thinking I was smarter when I was dumber. But this is the irony in that, because as much as he goes, oh, if you hate it in other people, then it's something you find in yourself. Fun, 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 fun. Blondie, if you absolutely hated that I was so self-righteous, you know why you did that? Because you're self-righteous. You absolutely hated it when I ignored all emotions. Hey, Blondie, you know why you do that? Because you ignore all emotions, okay? Hey, Blondie, you were so hateful toward my form of destiny that you wanted to replace it with this retarded shadow self shit. You know why? Because you hate your idea of destiny. How's that sound, you fucking entitled prick? But I also want to talk about the final thing that Blondie's dumbass went on about. And I just turned and looked at him, and this is like the ultimate bitch slap, because he was like, self-worth, 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 blah, 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 and I was just eye roll, eye roll, eye roll. And then I froze. I was like, are you one of those white guys that's like, oh, you guys need to develop self-worth when you actually derive your self-worth from being white? And he went, ah! And then I was like, and then you're going to tell me it's because I'm black that I have no self-worth? And then he went, ah! I was like, you were calling me the N-word god earlier. And he went, ah! Because that was the plan. That was the plan all along with Blondie. And I believe that this was the thing even in this church. It was about trying to prove that through their own racism. And you guys need to think white self-worth is the worst kind of self-worth, because these people literally steal other people's greatness and then replace it with a white guy that takes credit for something somebody else did. So they're like, look how great this white guy is. He invented electricity. Then you find out it was a black guy. Okay? Like, look how great this white guy is. He did rock music. Elvis is so amazing. He stole it from black people. He's not great. He's garbage. And I would argue this is probably a thing with white culture. They're all just garbage. And, like, the whole thing is the only thing they have to hold on to is the lies they tell themselves. And those lies are delicate and can be easily ripped away. And when they're ripped away, there goes their self-worth. If you ever think about Blondie, he has nothing to be proud of. He murdered Carolina Herrera in cold blood because he's a piece of shit. He tried to trick me into killing myself. He failed. And then when I told him he needed to stop, he persisted and then got hundreds of people killed in the church and then blamed me for it. And then when it came time to be a man and fix the situation, what does he do? You fix it. And then he ran off. The furthest thing from anybody that deserves any form of self-worth on any level, it's a general fact. You know, I guess it's good for his mental health he doesn't watch these videos, because he'd probably just go shoot himself after watch. Oh no, white culture's made up. I did do all those things, and I did just run away. And then on top of that, he's a god, but dude, I was thinking about this and it did crack me up. And this would make a great movie. It would be the cheat god, and it would be a guy that's like, I'm a god, but he cheats at everything. And then at the end of the thing, he'd be like, I'm a god of cheaters. I'm a god of losers. Okay, you pray to me when you want to win through corruption or evil deeds. Okay. Like this guy's stories would be like, oh, I took a guy in a marathon, but before the marathon started, I shot him in the knee. Like, I challenged a guy to, like an arm wrestling contest, and 2 weeks before that, I cut his arm off. And it would just be like, this is how I win. This is how I win, because I'm a god. And that would be the thing. Yeah, he's a god of cheating. That's his thing, and that's what every god in this guy in their churches is a god of cheating. They have to cheat at everything because they're losers. But whatever, man. I mean, integrity's had its day. And it's kind of funny that a lot of these people in this church ramble on about integrity, because if you keep them fighting one hand behind their back, that is the furthest thing from integrity you could ever have. There is nothing smart about challenging a disadvantaged person and then beating a disadvantaged person and then being like, oh, I have so much that you beat it. You beat a special ed kid. How do you feel proud of anything? If that happened to me, I'd feel like shit. Okay. Even if I were to challenge Blondie and then beat him at something, I consider him a retard. So I don't even think I'd enjoy anything, beating him at anything, because I consider him a retard. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah.